One of the unanticipated side effects of failing the bar exam is losing your momentum, your motivation, the meaning behind the activities that you were doing to support yourself and live your life while you were studying for and taking the bar exam. Except this is the worst possible moment to lose your momentum, your motivation, and your drive for your life activities, because right now is when you absolutely need stability, certainty, and security in the other areas of your life while you're dealing with this big disappointment of the bar exam. So how do you deal with everything that's hitting you after having learned that you failed the bar exam quickly enough that you don't step out of life for so long that things fall apart around you and make things even harder for you to get back on the horse than it would have otherwise? How do you do this? I'm going to outline a simple 3-part process here, and I'm going to include some links below so that you can take your process further for recovering from failing the bar exam. So the first thing you want to do is you want to meet your thoughts with compassion. After any kind of life event that has thrown us off, you're going to have thoughts that are associated with it. These thoughts run the gamut from beating up on yourself to catastrophizing. Telling yourself to not say those things is not going to stop them from being said. So even if you don't say them out loud to others, you're probably saying that to yourself with your internal voice, whether you're telling yourself that you're dumb or you'll never get it, or you're too lazy, or maybe you're not cut out for it, or you're telling yourself you're never going to pass the bar, things are never going to work out. Even if you pass the bar, who's ever going to want to hire you? Whether it's beating up on yourself or catastrophizing, I want you to take a moment, let the thoughts speak clearly. They're in there. Might as well hear what it is you're telling yourself all day. And then meet them with compassion, like a friend would. Tell yourself, I'm sorry you feel that way about yourself. Tell yourself, I could see how that would feel true right now, but it's probably not. You could tell yourself, it's okay. I love you anyway. Basically, answer the thoughts back lovingly. That's the first step. The second step now is to feel the feelings that come behind those thoughts, because those thoughts will evoke feelings. When the feelings come up, they're probably not going to feel very good. But what's important is that you actually face them and let them move through you. Trying to stave off the feelings actually increases the pain. It's like when you tense your arm before getting a shot, they tell you don't do that because it's actually going to increase the pain. Same thing with your emotions, especially if they are negative ones. You have to let them move through you. I'm linking below a meditation that I found on YouTube that is helpful for that. And if you use it, you will be able to connect with and actually process the difficult emotions so that they move through you faster and they don't end up taking you out, because that's what unprocessed emotions will do. Eventually, people have to turn to mind-numbing substances or activities, addictions of any sort, even workaholism, in order to avoid the storm of thoughts and emotions that are brewing inside. And because we've not really been taught to process our thoughts and emotions, we've just been taught to get back on the horse and keep going, there's probably a backlog already. You don't want to add to it. And you definitely want to start teasing them out and processing them one by one, like removing tissues from a tissue box one by one. Eventually, you'll get to the bottom of the tissue box, but you have to start now. What I found is that people who continue to pile on these emotions and thoughts often end up having their breakdowns when it comes to the practice of law. Maybe they pass the bar and they get in and then they're burnt out and they can't understand why. Learning to process thoughts and emotions in this way will benefit you throughout all of your life. And if you have a backlog now, which most people who haven't done this work before probably do, now is a really great time while feelings are sharp from having not passed the bar exam. It's a really great time to go ahead and start removing those tissues one by one and processing the thoughts and feelings that are bottled up inside. Once you get all of that out of the way, you'll probably be in a place to start taking action. Unfortunately, you probably already lost some momentum because sometimes you do have to take a beat in order to process those thoughts and those emotions. Sometimes it does take a couple of days of the meditating and maybe some writing out the thoughts that you've been feeling, journaling or so. So you'll need to move on to the third step of this process of recovering from failing the bar exam. And this third step involves getting your momentum back. Now, maybe you've been lying in bed for the last how many days because the emotions are so strong. They're hitting you so much. The world seems so dark and you just don't want to do anything. I get it. I totally get it. Start with something very small, something as simple as rolling out of bed and going to brush your teeth. That's right. Just go brush your teeth. And then when you're done, congratulate yourself. Profusely congratulate yourself for having done that. Maybe that little bit of momentum will give you the energy or desire to change your clothes. And maybe you'll get into something that could be passable for work, you know? And then maybe, just maybe, you'll decide to make your way over to your desk if you work from home, or you'll grab your keys and put on your shoes and go down to your car. And if that's as far as you make it, then congratulate yourself. Just congratulate yourself. Each step really does lead to the next step. So maybe you've got your clothes on and you've headed out of the house, but you really can't bear to bring yourself to drive into the office. That's fine. Just take a walk down the driveway and back. Maybe, turn around and go back up and down again. Get yourself some sun. Move your body. Know that if you're moving your body and you even break a sweat, you've done a really great thing for yourself. Just do that. If the thought of even trying to go to work doesn't work for you, take out the trash, right? The whole point is to do little things that you probably would have had to do anyway, just to build a momentum, just to ease some of that guilt. Because, when you sit around and you mope, you start feeling guilty for doing that too, even though you really sometimes do need that moping time. Do something simple to start to remind yourself that you are effective on this planet. You can get things done. You are still alive and still able and capable. And soon all of the thoughts that kind of sucked the life out of you when it came to failing the bar exam will start to be outweighed or balanced out by the fact that you are still a functional human being on this earth. So that's the third step of the process. So again, the three steps are: the first, meet your thoughts with compassion. Let the thoughts come out, let them move through your mind, hear what they are, so that you can at least know what are the kinds of things that you tell yourself all the time. Second, meet your emotions with compassion. You want to be compassionate because it's a part of you. Your emotions are you. It's a part of you. And so if you allow it to be there and you allow it to be okay, they tend to kind of relax and move out of the way faster. They really do. Third step is to build back your momentum by taking little action steps and congratulating yourself profusely on doing so. And that way your momentum builds, whether over a course of a couple of days or even in a couple of hours, so that you can start doing the necessary activities that are in front of you to do so that you can maintain your job or get new work, maintain your home, pay your bills, and keep your physical safety and security stable while you work on deciding what's next when it comes to you and the bar exam. Now, if this has helped, you're probably going to want to take the next step to cut the baggage from actually failing the bar exam itself, to address the thoughts that probably have been living in your head for a long time, but have been ignited by having failed the bar exam, and to reverse the damage of the rejection that we feel when we failed the bar exam, especially if you failed it multiple times. Now, I'm speaking from experience because I've had to recover from this as well. But if you fail the bar once or even more than once, especially if you failed it more than once, there's often baggage that carries with you from one examination to the next that you really do need to address and cut loose so that you can feel free to dive in with all you've got for your next bar exam date without pumping the brakes from the fear of what if I go all out and fail again. There are a lot of details that need to be teased apart in order to give yourself that freedom to go full on. And I address that in my course, Retake Success. I'll link that below if you want to take a look at it and see how you can take your healing to the stage of completion so that you can come to this bar exam wiser, stronger, and ready to give it your all. Because chances are, if you've taken the bar before, you're ready. So look below for that course, Retake Success, to take your healing a little bit further. And I'll see you in the next video.